Welcome back to the Elise Surkoff podcast, where we help women in perimenopause and menopause thrive unapologetically from the inside out. All right, let's get into this hot topic because there is so much talk right now about GLP-1s, and I wanted to just kind of give you my 2 cents, if you care, because the answer for everything is, for me anyways, is going to be it depends. I truly feel like there's room for everything, but it feels like everyone that you've ever known is coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, I'm on a GLP-1. And I think this kind of started with, for me anyways, with Serena Williams, who came out saying that she's been on a GLP-1. And you're like, holy fucking hell. Serena Williams is like, I mean, she is the epitome, in my opinion anyways, of femininity. She is the dark feminine in its truest form, right? She is like raw and sexy and powerful, and she is athletic. She is the goat. And if like she needs to be on a GLP-1 because she couldn't lose weight, then like we all fucking need it, right? I think that was a big one. Jordan Syatt, if you don't follow Jordan Syatt, you should. He's really funny. He's great. He's really strongly opinionated, and he is like the fitness coach that is like, keep it simple and just do the fucking shit and be in a calorie deficit and all the things. And he came out saying that he was on a GLP-1 as a trial for 8 months, and that he learned so much about himself, and that it was like the greatest thing he ever did. I have a lot of colleagues coming out of hiding saying, oops, I've been on a GLP-1. And my first question is like, why is everybody hiding this? Or why is there shame around it? Like, what happened that we feel that there's shame around it? It's kind of like where anxiety meds were maybe like 5 years ago, when people were like, and I'm on anxiety medication. And you're like, what did you say? Like, is that a bad thing? Like, cool. I think if COVID taught us anything, it's that most people end up on anxiety meds on some regards. And I'm not getting into mental health. That's not what this episode is about. But if you are a woman in perimenopause and your doctor puts you on anti-anxiety meds and they haven't helped, chances are you need progesterone. That is a topic for another day. But let's get back to GLP-1s. It does really feel like everyone is on it. And it feels like there are a lot of people out there who are very polarized, that are like, nope, it is cheating. Women will come to me and they'll say, well, I don't want to be on a GLP-1 because I'm not fucking putting that shit into my body and paying for that for the rest of my life. And it is cheating, and I will do things the hard way and the right way. And then I have women that have been on GLP-1s and it hasn't been working. And I've had women who I have recommended repeatedly go on GLP-1s. So if you want to know, and I get this asked pretty much every day right now, how do I feel about a GLP-1? My answer is, it depends. Do you need it? Because if you need it, I think it's great. Just like I think that, anti-anxiety meds are great, but like not everybody needs it. So if the right people are on it, or it's the right solution to the problem that you have, then I think it's wonderful. Okay, so let's go back into, and I'm not going to get into the science about this one. I think what I'm going to do is invite a guest onto the podcast who really can get into the science behind the GLP-1s, and who they are really best suited for, and what the long-term repercussion is. So if you are someone listening, you are a medical professional in this field, I'd love to interview you and talk to you about that. Okay. Because that's another episode. I don't want this episode to be around like, educating it and like, what are the pros and the cons? I want this to be around like, is this actually considered cheating? And does it actually matter? So, I mean, I get Botox. Is that cheating? When someone says to me, oh my God, you look amazing, I can't believe you're 46. I get this a lot, right? I'm with my daughter and people are like, I don't get it. Are you sisters? Is one of you supposed to be the mother? Like, what is going on here? And I do have a young look. Like when I was a kid, and my daughter's the same way. When I was a kid, I looked older for my age. I was the 15 and 16-year-old that everyone thought was 20. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into acting. And I did some like little bit of like ads and modeling and stuff, because I had an older look to myself. But then when I hit like 2021, I kind of like looked like I was 16 again. And so I had this like look to myself where like when I was older, I looked younger, but when I was younger, I looked older. And my daughter has that same kind of look. It's genetic, right? I didn't do anything to deserve it. But I do Botox. So a lot of times people will be like, oh my God, you look so young. Do you do Botox? And I'm like, I do. And they're like, ah, oh, that's why. And I'm like, does it matter what I do? Because like what I really do, I think that makes me look younger than I might be chronologically, is that I fucking take care of myself, right? Is like I put, healthy foods into my body. I exercise very regularly. I strength train like a mofo. I set really strong boundaries, and I care about my hormone and my sexual health. So that's going to show in other ways. Now, other people might do the same thing and they might not look younger. So is Botox cheating, or is it just like, part of whatever? I also fucking dye my hair. Like I dye my roots. I'm very gray. So is like that cheating? Cause I'm not letting myself like, have no Botox and grays in my hair. Like what is cheating? You cannot cheat when it comes to strength training. Nobody shows up with muscles and you're like, how'd you do it? And you're like, I bought these fuckers. I had to fucking earn it. Right. So like, is GLP-1s actually cheating? And I hate when people say that, because nobody that I've ever known, and I've known a lot of people, I know a lot of people. I've known a lot of people who've gone on GLP-1s, and no one's really made the decision easy. It's never been like oh, well, I'll just go on a GLP-1 and that will be the end of it. It's always been like met with shame. It's met with confusion. It's met with feel like, like last resort, like they've nothing else works. And so the GLP-1 is the only option. And I do think, I was talking to someone, I brought her into the program, and she's actually pre-diabetic and all her friends are going on GLP-1s. And she's like, I don't want to go on one. And we were talking about, first, I actually didn't know she was pre-diabetic. She saved that till the end. But I said, oh, well, now that I know that like we've got some metabolic dysregulation, you probably would be a really good candidate for microdosing GLP-1s. Like you would probably have a really great result. But she didn't want that. Like that wasn't something that she wanted. Just like a lot of women will come to me and say, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to lift weights. And I'm like, oh, okay, like you don't have to. Like you can do whatever you want. But there is a stigma around it that I personally don't think there should be. And then I think there's a stigma around having the stigma around it, right? Where there's women that are like, well, I lost my weight and I didn't inject anything, right? And it's like, or I've lost weight and I didn't give up any sugar, or I lost weight and I didn't work out one day in my life. And it's like, nobody fucking cares. So like, is it cheating? Who the fuck cares? If you are someone who is benefiting from being on a GLP-1, I'm fucking happy for you, because at the end of the day, I would love to rid this obesity, this morbid obesity epidemic that is happening in North America. I would love that. So if that means that half of us need to get on GLP-1s to make that happen, I'm okay with that. The other thing I think comes up a lot is like a lot of coaches in this space are getting fearful of GLP-1 being like competition. They're like, oh my God, everyone's going on GLP. I remember on GLP-1, a colleague of mine was like, how do you feel about it? What are you going to do? How are you going to like debunk it? And I was like, I'm not going to fucking do anything, because like whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, you still need me. You still need to dial in your nutrition, your training, your lifestyle modifications, your habits, your boundaries, your identity. That fucking doesn't change if you need a GLP-1 or not. So like, I'm like, I don't feel threatened, because we have a lot of women in our community who are on GLP-1s. And there's no shame around it. They might not share it. It's up to them. We have a lot of women who end up coming off the GLP-1 when they start our program, because the reason why they went on it was not the right reason. They had 10 pounds to lose. Their doctor prescribed it to them, and they were like, yep, this is what I need, when that's not what they needed. They needed to get more muscle on their body. Or we have women who went on it because they felt like it was the easy answer. I'd rather just pay for something that I can inject into my body, and that will be it. And then they're like, oh, but you mean I still have to watch my nutrition and I still have to train? Yeah. Okay. Well, forget it. I'll stop paying for that and I'll start paying for coaching. So I personally don't have I'm like, I am always for whatever is going to get you the best results in the most healthiest and balanced way possible. So if you were someone who's highly anxious or highly depressed, and you're like, and I'm on anti-anxiety and antidepressants to help balance my moods so that I can, show up for myself daily and for my family, and then, train and eat and do all the things. And I'm like, fucking amazing. But if you're someone who's like, well, I hate my job and I hate my life and I hate the relationship that I'm in, so I'm going on antidepressants, like you are putting the wrong Band-Aid on the wrong wound, right? That's not going to help it. Okay. So it's the same thing with GLP-1s. If you're not a right candidate for someone for this, if you don't have a metabolic dysfunction, if you're trying to just lose those last 5-10 pounds, this is not the right thing for you. It's a very powerful way of helping someone reduce the food noise, and really be able to get that weight off when you have extreme insulin resistance. It also helps people get out of a pre-diabetic state. And there's nobody that wants me more for you for that than me. I want everybody to be at a pre-diabetic state because trust me when I say you don't want fucking diabetes. All right. And especially the preventable one, like the type 2. It makes me mad when people are like, yeah, I'm type 2. No problem. I wear Dexcom too, just like your kid. And I'm like, no, you fucking don't. My kid had no choice. He was 2. It's an autoimmune disease. You have a choice. You can change your lifestyle. You can change your habits and you choose not to. Right. That's another one. I know I'm highly affected by that one because I struggle with it and my son has to struggle with it and I don't want anyone else to have to struggle with it. And if my son could change his nutrition or his lifestyle so that he didn't have to do that, trust me when I say we would be there. Okay, I'm going off topic again. So the bottom line is I don't think that GLP-1s personally means that you're cheating. So if you're someone who actually cares about my opinion, which like, thank you, but stick to your own opinions is really what matters, then understand that I don't believe that it's cheating. I do believe that people are leaning on it a little bit too much. I think that there's a lot of people who are like thinking it is, quote, the magic pill or magic needle that we're all waiting for, that is going to get people the results that they want. And it's not the case because that's not what those people need. In those cases, if you have like that little bit of weight to lose, chances are you need to dial in your nutrition, you need to dial in your training. And if you're trying to go from here to here, meaning you're someone who's trying to lose those 5-10 pounds, the amount of change you need to do to get there is going to be even greater than someone that has that 100 pounds to lose. Someone who's like 100 pounds overweight, if they walked every day, they would see a huge difference. You walk every day, you're not going to see a huge difference, right? I've seen hundreds of women transform their bodies with the help of GLP-1s. They've gotten themselves off of blood pressure medications. They're no longer diabetic, or they're no longer in a pre-diabetic state. They are thriving. They are showing up for their families. They are showing up for themselves again. They are wearing clothes that make them feel good. They've got a bounce in their step. Why the fuck wouldn't I want that for every woman on the planet? If you have the means and it's going to help, I'm 100% in support of that. I don't believe there should be any shame or stigma around that. However, like I said, I think if anything, we need to drop a little bit of that shame and stigma around people who are making those choices and saying like, hey, if someone drops like 50, 100 pounds on a GLP-1 and you're like, yeah, but it was a GLP-1, they're going to tell you it was still fucking hard work. And let me tell you, that person has struggled with weight likely their entire life and has done cycles and cycles of yo-yo dieting. So they are certainly not taking the quote unquote easy way out by any means. But I do think that a lot of doctors prescribe it as a means of, hey, just weight loss. Hey, you want to lose weight? Cool. Here's the GLP-1. Here's ozempic. Here's, Saxandra, all the things. And it's like, that's not necessarily what it is for. So if you're on a GLP-1, I'd love to know. How do you feel about it being on it? Do you share that you're on one? Or when you did share, were you ashamed of it? Or did you feel that there was a stigma on it? Or if you're someone who's on a GLP-1, how did you make that decision? Was it a hard one? Was it a super easy one? And if you're someone who's gotten yourself off of one, I'd love to know what made you decide to come off it. So I'd love to hear. If you can go ahead, leave me a rating below, comment on it, let me know, where you're at right now, or, go ahead and share this episode on social and tag me in it and let me know. I'd love to hear. You can also reach me on email. I will link the links below. I will drop all those links below. And, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you follow along so that you don't miss my 2 cents if it is something that is important to you or of value to you. I appreciate you being here and I will see you and speak to you on the next one.